All right, this is Brian Johnson with Finance and Commerce, and I'm pleased to be joined by two gentlemen from Opus, George Parrino and Scott Shifflett. And we're going to talk a little bit about a brand new state-of-the-art $12 million aquatic center that Opus recently built for St. Thomas Academy and Visitation School. We're going to chat about some other projects too, but first of all, George and Scott, thank you for joining me. How you doing today?
Wonderful. Thank you, Brian. Good to be here.
Good to have you. I was wondering if before we jump into the St. Thomas Academy Visitation Aquatic Center project, I was wondering if you could just briefly introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your roles with Opus.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Brian. I'm the Vice President of Construction for Opus in Minneapolis here, and I've been with Opus for 19 years, 20 coming up here in April. And I have an engineering background, graduating with a construction engineering degree at Iowa State. And, finding creative solutions to problems has always been attractive through my life, and operating in an integrated design build model has been so rewarding and such a great fit for me here at Opus. Since 2010, I've taken a very active role in our educational and faith-based projects. There's not many projects, Brian, where you start or open and close a meeting with a hug, or they afford you the opportunity to directly support the communities. It's kind of unique and why I've enjoyed that role and why those projects are so special. Many of us in the construction industry, we highlight seeing our work along the highway or how it changes city skylines, but through this work, we also get to see our success in the future of others, and that really energizes me and has been something that has been valuable for me in my time here.
Thank you, Scott and George. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks, Brian. So I started with Opus as an intern in college and then was hired on full-time in 2000 once I graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Madison with a civil engineering degree. So I've been practicing design build with Opus my entire career. And really one of the things I love about it is the collaboration and interaction we're able to have with our clients, architects, and engineers. So I'm a project executive in our Minneapolis office. So I lead teams of architects, engineers, and our subcontractors kind of throughout the full life cycle of a project. So that would be pursuits, design, construction, activation. And I've had the ability to work on many different project types since I've been here. Industrial, multifamily housing, office buildings, athletic centers, renovations. And like Scott said, we have, lots of repeat clients, and I also really enjoy getting to know them on a personal level and then celebrating our successes at the end of projects. So thank you again for having us on your podcast.
Great. Well, thank you for that, George. And let's just jump right into the St. Thomas Academy Visitation Aquatic Center project. My youngest daughter is actually a competitive swimmer and diver, and I've had the privilege of visiting some pretty outstanding facilities here in the metro area, and I can't wait to see this one. Tell us about it. First of all, when did that project begin, and how was Opus selected to be on this project team?
Yeah, it's Brian. I'll start, and then George can help with some of the construction details. So, actually, it goes all the way back to around 2011. We were assisting STA with restoration and maintenance work, and during that time, we found some deterioration of the steel structure. So very quickly, it went from a maintenance project to a project where our expedited efforts were to restore and reinforce the building for usability and safety. And we ended up replacing the entire east elevation with thin brick precast, supporting the precast roof structure. And that allowed STA to use the facility for another 12 years. So that was a very quick, exciting project. That really highlighted our strength and effectiveness of collaboration and responsiveness. And thankfully, we've been able to work with STA and Viz on 10 additional projects since then. We really supported STA through multiple studies from 2011, 12 through 2023. And that's when STA really started talking serious about, hey, we restored the building, the maintenance is holding up, we need to do something. We need to do something soon. And so in 2023, we really started talking seriously about STA and the pool project. And as it became a reality, we knew we needed to bring in George. And, this is George's third competition pool. His experience brought significant value for all stakeholders. And George, I'll hand it to you. Talk a little bit about the timeline.
Yeah, so like Scott said, they came to a point where they had to figure out, are they going to renovate their existing pool or start new? So with the generosity of the lead donor, Chip Michael, who's an alumni of STA, and others who joined in supporting him, the decision was made to construct a new pool. So we broke ground on the new pool in April of 2024 with demolition, and then construction started, right after the old pool was taken down.
So was it built adjacent to where the old pool was? Where does it fit on the campus?
Yep, so we took down the old pool and this new pool is in the exact same location, but it is larger. So it's a little bit larger footprint, but in the same location as their prior pool.
And what were some of the biggest challenges from a construction standpoint? It's no small project to build something like that on an active school campus, I'm sure.
Yeah, so there's always challenges with projects, right? But there were three main ones, and you actually hit on, one of them was really the logistical challenge of, tearing down the building and building a new building on an active campus with minimal disruption. The second challenge was really the engineering challenge of putting a new structure up against the existing structure using a variety of structural components, precast steel, laminated timber, a lot of different materials used in the building. And then finally, it was really the complex pool systems, making sure they were all well coordinated together and working at the end of the day. So those were all some of the challenges that we faced on the project.
And when was the project actually completed?
We got our certificate of occupancy in June, this past June of this year, and they'll start using the pool in this next school year coming up.
Yeah, they're celebrating the grand opening August 6th. So we're really looking forward to that.
Well, great. That'll be a great event, I'm sure. And can you talk a little bit about any similar projects you've completed for other clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So Opus has a long legacy of athletic projects, dating all the way back to Mariucci Arena. That's may not be well known that Opus built that arena, and it also includes collegiate and K through 12 projects. So in addition to the Michael Family Aquatic Center, we've completed projects at Creighton Hall, Our Lady of Grace, and we helped deliver St. Thomas Academy's Flynn Hall just across the campus. And so that was a very successful project, as well, focusing primarily on new locker facilities, gymnasiums, but it also had an educational component. And while we're talking about an athletic facility, educational projects are really a key focus area for our team. And so we've been so blessed to be able to work at not just with STA and Viz, but schools across the Minneapolis market, whether it be Holy Angels, Creighton Hall, De La Salle, et cetera. We've had opportunities, and it's just such a rewarding part of what we are able to do here.
Great. And so, as far as just to circle back to the new aquatic center, how does this rate with other existing facilities in the metro? I'm sure it's state of the art. And do you have any thoughts on that?
So this pool should be very competitive with all new facilities in the metro area. I mean, it was designed by an architect that the school hired out of the East Coast that does several athletic and aquatic facilities. It's got a 8-lane competition pool with diving and capable for swimming and diving. We've got a large pool deck where athletes can, have plenty of space around the pool. We've got room for 300 spectators with some standing room and bleacher areas and new locker room. So it really is a fantastic facility. And once you go there, it's got huge windows, a lot of natural light. It'll be, I think, a a favorite place for people to come and watch a swim meet.
And it's a fitting home for visitation in St. Thomas Academy. I understand they've won numerous state titles over the years and have an outstanding swimming and dive program there. So,
Absolutely, Brian. Would you believe they've won over 40 championships? I mean, this really fits in with their culture of excellence and being competitive in this space.
and what has their reaction been so far? How do they
Uh,
like the new space?
They, with everything we've heard so far from both STA and Viz and from, the lead donor, Chip Michael, they really enjoy it. It's a beautiful building. It meets their needs and, furthers their mission for their students. We couldn't be happier with it, and we've received really positive feedback on this facility.
Yeah, absolutely, George. And I'd like to thank STA President Brian Ragetz, Visitation School President Dr. Jennifer Bigelow, and of course Chip Michael for the opportunity to deliver the facility. I mean, for their school, their students, and the community. Yeah, and really, it's been a wonderful team to work with, from architects to the owners' representatives. It was a team effort, and without that collaboration, would not have been as successful as it was.
Yeah, and speaking of the team, I know that Opus has an outstanding in-house design group and that you actually worked with a third-party architect on this St. Thomas Visitation Aquatic Center project. Tell us about that, and was that a seamless partnership?
Yeah, Brian. So Opus, how we commonly partner with architects in an integrated design build model. So we currently have an in-house team of 6 architects, and they help us with conceptual designs, helping our developers look at sites. But once it starts to get to schematic design or project documents, we're working with outside architects. So we're building those relationships here in the marketplace to find the right team. So for this project, STA engaged Fabiano Designs, ICS Consulting, and Opus. As George said, Fabiano Designs, they're out of Montclair, New Jersey. They have extensive athletic and fitness experience. ICS, they brought their depth of experience representing schools as owners reps. So they see a lot of things. And like you talked about, gee, how does this fit with other competitive pools? They brought that experience and really added value to the team. So together, we really listened to the owner's needs and brought all of those unique talents and just helped to optimize cost and utility of the building. Hitting a tight budget while still providing state-of-the-art facilities was one of the biggest challenges, and was one that we collectively worked together on. So I couldn't have been more pleased working with that team and just building that shared accountability and trust. And George really modeled that with his leadership on the project.
And our design build approach, like Scott said, is really built upon, working with the team and getting all players involved early. And that really helped us, overcome some of those challenges on the project I mentioned earlier. Um, I'm happy to kind of maybe go through a specific example of that, if you like, Brian, on just
Sure,
how the team kind of works through that with our process.
sure.
Okay. So, I mentioned, those kind of 3 challenges we had on the project, and really how we overcome those is through our pre-planning and our communication. So we've got our field leaders and our site superintendents. They're actively involved early on in our projects with what we call field integrated design. So they stay with the project from the start to the end. So a specific example of that was figuring out how to sequence the construction of the pool. So in an ideal world, where you have perfect weather and you've got a big open space to build a building, you would dig the hole for the pool vessel, you'd complete the construction of the pool itself, and then you'd put up the walls and the roof around the pool. But in Minnesota, we have weather, right? We have winter. So we wanted to focus on getting the building enclosed before the weather turned cold. So this required the entire design and construction team to work together up front to determine what are the right footing depths, where can we leave temporary openings in the building to get equipment in and out. And that allowed us to dig the pool after our building structure was essentially up. So that's really one of the ways we feel we add value to our clients is through our integrated project delivery process, right? So we're collaborating with architects and consulting partners really early on. In the example I just, talked about, if the Opus field and management team weren't involved in those early stages, the architect and engineer, they would have no way of knowing what the logistical challenges were or how we envision sequencing the project. So really it's that upfront communication and getting everyone involved earlier that is kind of the secret sauce to how we can make these projects work so effectively.
Great. So it really is a team effort and wonderful, wonderful project. Now, is there anything else that you'd like to share before I let you go?
Well, I'd be happy to share, Brian, just a little bit of our other work in the market and some other things that we are focusing on as an organization. So, in
Hmm.
addition to our work on educational and faith-based projects, uh, in Minneapolis, we have a strategic focus on industrial, manufacturing, and multifamily. So, we're currently finishing up a facility in Maple Grove for an international defense contractor, and we just recently delivered a highly innovative aluminum recycling facility for Spectra Alloys in Rosemont. So that industrial and manufacturing is a space that we continue to see opportunities in. Uh, School remodeling, master planning projects. So working with architectural partners on master planning. So really thinking strategically, long, and having a 20-year plan just helps our customers. And that's an area that we're starting to see more opportunities in, whether it's schools is a big component of it, but even businesses are doing strategic, long-term planning, and we're working with our design partners on that. So that's an exciting area of growth as well. Outside the Twin Cities, we're seeing meaningful activity in our focus sectors. We've also been working to expand our platform in two new areas. So we opened an office in Austin, Texas last year, serving the Texas market. And we're opening an office in Charlotte, North Carolina this year, serving the East Coast and a lot of the growth you're seeing there. So a lot of exciting opportunities that we're very focused on our collaboration and working with our school and educational partners, but a lot of opportunities outside of that as well that we're all excited about.
Great. Well, thank you for that, Scott. Anything that you would like to add, George?
Yeah, I mean, Brian, we love talking to people. We like being creative with solutions and finding creative ways to do things. So, we always encourage anyone who has a potential project, reach out to us. We do work everywhere. So we really feel like we've got, we're curious, we're collaborative, and we really want to, you know, bring value to our clients. So this is what we do every day, and we love doing it. So yeah, we appreciate you inviting us on.
Yeah, Brian, really appreciate the time.
Well, thank you both for your time and look forward to seeing the new aquatic center, and you'll have to get it nominated for our next top projects. So
Absolutely.
we'll look forward to seeing that in 2026 as a hopefully a finance and commerce top project.
That'd be awesome.
Great.
We hope this becomes one of your favorite facilities to spectate in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you both again and appreciate your time and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks,
Thank
Brian.
you. You too.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.